Hello, YouTubers. This is Danny Draghi back with the review of Frostpunk. Recently downloaded this game because it was free of charge from the Epic Games Store, and I wanted to try it out. It was advertised as a city builder survival game set in a frozen wasteland. My short experience with the game after about 3.5 playthroughs is that it's a really game built around frustration. A lot of it is trial and error gameplay that offers you choices throughout your game on what to develop and whether to focus on resource gathering or law and order and what laws you pass. And so you're constantly making these decisions, and it's almost like no matter what route you take, you're being punished. For example, you might play through the game and pick one outcome and think, oh, that's terrible, I shouldn't have done that. You feel bad about your decision, and on another play through the game you select the other option, the only other option that's available to you, and they stick it to you even worse. So it's like you realize that on your original playthrough you actually made the right decision, even though you were damned if you don't and damned if you do. And the entire game is just choosing between the lesser of two evils and never feeling good, about your decisions or about your progress. And progress is never celebrated. Like, you never get a breath where you could ease and say everything's going great, because it's not. Obviously, it's a shitty frozen wasteland, and it is a survival game. And if it reminds me of anything, it's like playing the Oregon Trail, where it didn't matter of your skill was regardless. You could be the best hunter, make all the best decisions, and even get decently good RNG and make it to the end of the game, but half of the people who depended on you still died, often in excruciatingly painful deaths. And you just kind of shrugged it off and pushed onward, and like you told yourself, at least that's one less mouth that I have to feed, just so you would trek onto your journey and eventually get to the end, hopefully. But this game has a difficulty meter that is just through the roof. I mean, once you make it to a certain point in the game, you can see a temperature at the top of the screen. Right now it's negative 20 degrees Celsius, it looks like. But what is insane is that it will just keep getting colder and colder and colder. And at the beginning of the game you get a respite where it warms up a little, and then it gets colder, and as it gets colder it puts your inhabitants into more danger. And like I said, at a certain point in the game it just never goes back. And I'm doing what the game feels like it wants me to do, and I feel like I should be rewarded, but oftentimes the reward is just smashing that difficulty button even harder and making things even worse. Like, at some point in this playthrough, I'm sending scouts out and I'm exploring and I'm finding all these other settlements and resources, and things are going great. My hope is way up the meter at the bottom that's blue, and my discontent is way down the red meter, so I'm doing the best out of all of my playthroughs. And we end up finding a settlement, and everybody there died. And it just turned my town completely on its head. Like, all of my hope disappeared, and all of my discontent, the red bar, was like halfway up. And even though we had food, we had resources, we're expanding research, almost everybody's healthy, like, I'm taking care of the people's needs. Because I started this train of events, I felt like I was on a downward spiral of impossible decisions. Like, no matter what I decided, I would be screwed. Like, I felt like a lot of geniuses sat around in a room creating ways to piss off and stump and prevent me from enjoying myself from playing this game. It's just one aha gotcha fuck you, shouldn't have done that, do not collect, do not pass go, do not collect $200. It's just very frustrating gameplay mechanics. And that's pretty much all I have to say. If you really like city builders, if you really like Civilization, Age of Empires, Sim City, games like that, you will probably be very pissed off at this game while playing it. And if you do not like that game type, you're more of the hardcore player, survival game enthusiast, I don't see how a city builder is really going to make you enjoy your time and the tension that this game just builds and builds and builds and never releases that tension until you are deposed of as an entirely incompetent ruler, which I imagine eventually happens to everybody. I hope I'm not alone, but I felt like the more I played this game, the better I got at it. However, it would just get me to the next stage. Like playthrough one I put up on a video you can see on my channel if you haven't watched that already. And it was fun, I guess, but it was just an exercise of futility. But learning from that, playing the second playthrough, I got a little farther. I learned from my mistakes and I was a little better off. Still ended in my utter demise. And then so I took that knowledge in my next playthrough and got even further. And I thought, if I just keep doing this, I'm eventually going to get to the end. But on that last playthrough, it was just so boring. Doing everything that I've done before on the previous three playthroughs, and I felt like it would just get me to a fourth stage where I would be stumped, I would be duped, I would be tricked, I would be pranked, my village would kick me out or kill me, and all of that knowledge and time spent would be for nothing. So I encourage you to play this game if it's for free. If you really do enjoy city building games, perhaps if it's for, $5 or $10, you could pick it up or on sale. But I think that I would never call this game a bad game or any complete game. It's not like a scam or a rip off a bad game, just due to the respect that all the hard work the developers put into it. But I really wish they had included some sort of difficulty slider or some way to recover your hope and ease the discontent of your citizens a little better, maybe for new players, and not just constantly build the tension, but offer some sort of reprieve for a job well done, instead of just keep cranking up the difficulty higher and higher and higher. Regardless of how will you adapt to this game, it will find the most creative ways and psychotic ways, if I'm being honest, to really screw you over. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed the review. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far, and have a great day.